96.3, the heart of Geelong, Werribee and the Surf Coast. And the Geelong Cricket Association Women's League got underway last weekend. And one of the new players in action in our region was 18-year-old Emily Page. She is the import from the UK for the South Barwon Cricket Club. Hello, Emily. Thank you very much for joining me on The Big Picture in Sport.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Now, can I ask you about how you got involved in the game and developed such an affection for cricket?
So, back at home, I've got 5 older brothers who all play cricket, and pretty much all my family have played cricket all their lives. So, when I was age 6, I started playing cricket, and I just loved it and fell in love with the game from the get-go, really. And I've played every year since that and loved every second of it.
Oh, fabulous. Now, when you speak about back home, can you be more specific about where you're actually from?
Yeah, so I'm from a little town called Warrington, and that's in between Manchester and Liverpool at home, so it's North England.
Oh, terrific. And obviously very, very famous. Our music fans would be very familiar with the fact that Liverpool obviously is where the Beatles came from. So it's a really fabulous place. It's obviously a cricketing heartland too, and you had no choice, did you really, with 5 big brothers obviously battling away in the backyard? It must have been a bit of fun growing up there.
Yeah, it was amazing all the time. Every time it wasn't raining, because it rains a lot at home, but whenever it wasn't raining, we'd always be in the back garden hitting some cricket balls, and I was getting them thrown at me from everywhere with all my brothers.
Terrific. A big adventure as an 18-year-old coming all this way to Australia to play cricket for South Barwon. That was obviously a very big decision for you.
Yeah, it was a very big decision. It was very last minute as well, really, but all my life I've dreamed of travelling the world and coming to Australia. Like, I find it such an amazing place. And obviously with my cricket, I thought, what's better than to do it together, travel the world and play cricket. So, yeah, it was a easy decision in the end to come and play cricket at such a young age in such a good country.
Now, you've only been in Australia a really short period of time, but what are your early impressions of the Geelong region in particular?
Yeah, it's very nice. I've not really got up to much since I've been here yet, but the weather's been a bit like home, really, quite a lot of rain.
Yes.
But I've been enjoying getting out and playing some cricket and experiencing the different weather and like how the pitches play out here, which has been good.
And no doubt a very warm welcome by our friends at the South Barwon Cricket Club.
Yeah, they're all so lovely. They've made me feel so welcome, all the men and the women players.
Now, obviously not successful in the opening round last week against Geelong City Sharks, but there is obviously the capacity for a little more success tomorrow when you take on Lethbridge. I suppose one of the things about coming to a new country and a new area, you're totally unfamiliar with what you're going to get from one game to the next.
Yes, definitely. That was what I was most nervous about last weekend. I was just thinking, what is the standard going to be like? What are the players going to be like? That's what worried me the most. So when I was opening the batting, I just thought, just see each ball as it comes and see how it plays, because I'm sure it'll be very different to at home.
Well, obviously you made some runs, unfortunately run out, but you did get away to striking a 29-ball 22. Do you do a bit of bowling as well?
Yes. Back at home, I opened the bowling and I bowled 2 overs and I was none for 5 last weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no doubt it's going to be a very, very exciting time for you. And I suppose what we can both reflect on is the enormous growth in the women's game. Back home for you in England and obviously over here in Australia, the game just continues to grow and so many more opportunities are emerging for young women who want to take on cricket and excel at this absolutely fabulous sport that has no doubt given you a lot of pleasure.
Yeah, it's amazing to see, like, even the difference from when I was 13, 14 playing cricket. There wasn't many opportunities for me to play with women. Like, I grew up playing with the boys at my local club at Warrington Cricket Club, and there was no women around really for me to play with, so I just grew up with the lads. But now it's amazing to see how amazing like it's coming along and how many women are in the sport now playing, doing what they love.
Well, Emily, it's an absolute delight to catch up with you in the early stages of your Geelong and Australian experience, and I look forward to the opportunity of catching up with you again in the future. Thank you very much for being on The Big Picture in Sport.
Thank you for having me.
You're on 96.3, the heart of Geelong, Werribee and the Surf Coast. Coming up next, Mark Brunker talking Geelong Cricket Association men's action.